You know what you start doing that I really like? You start doing prologues.
What's those?
To the interviews. Like you give a little sample.
Oh, okay.
And then you go into the opening theme.
Oh yeah.
And then you go into the interview. You know?
Yeah, that's awesome too, yeah. Welcome to the basement, man. Tell us your name. What's going on?
My name is Moe Hughes.
Moe Hughes. Welcome to the basement. That's BASSmint.
It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, man.
All my kin folks.
All right, man. We got to ask you some questions if you don't mind. You mind if I do a quick interview with you in the basement?
No problem.
You mind if any of these other bass players chime in and got with you too?
No
okay, well, in the basement we got with us none other than Mr. Brandon Rose. What's up, bruh? One of the killer basses out of Detroit. He don't think so, but we know so. One of the killers, and his pops there. What's up, John Rose? And Reggie Rose?
Just like saying Wild Irish Rose.
Wild Irish Rose.
No, we got our gracious host, Mr. Reginald Canty. Thank you for the basement, bro.
Not a problem, dog.
Thank you very much.
Not a problem.
Oh, man. Also, we have with us, tell us your name.
Julianne Muir.
Julianne Muir. She's the mom of one of our basses here. And, oops, there's me right there, Big Eye. And we also have with us
Tom Earl.
Tom Earl, that's the father of one of our basses here. And we have another bass player here. What's up?
Kern Brantley.
Phenomenal heavy hitter, don't get no bigger, Kern Brantley.
Detroit versus everybody.
Yeah. This is one, I'm telling y'all folks, this is one of the big dogs on the planet out of Detroit, hitting with Lady Gaga. Stage so big, they gotta call each other to find out. You know, I'm serious, man. You don't even get to see the other guys you playing with sometimes on them big stages, do you?
As long as I got them in my in-ear monitors, so I can hear them.
Huge stages, man. And that's Lady Gaga. I'm talking about Lady Gaga, Beyonce, Neo, the Bad Boy Family, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy. I know that's the same person. The Gospel Family with the Winans, Jazz, Earl, Clue, and Grover Washington. I'm forgetting so many people. the man. Thanks for hanging out in the basement with us, man. Also, we have with us
Jonathon Muir.
Guess what? I'm gonna be saying the same thing about this bass player in a few years because he's an awesome bass player, serious about his upcoming career in the music business. Also, we have with us
Sage Earl.
another professional musician and artist and composer and what do you call a person who write books?
Author.
An author. And again, another one that's gonna be saying the same thing that Karen was saying. She's gonna be on them huge stages if she wants to. And you can check out her interview too. And you can check out his interview. And you can check out his interview all done here in the basement. And you can check out Brandon's second interview because that's one of my favorite bass players. You can check him out. Another dude is about to blow up. And they all here to ask Moe Hughes some questions. So, first question is, Moe, when you start playing the bass and why?
I started playing bass around 21 years ago. I've been playing bass off and on for about 20 years. Started playing on a consistent basis around 5 years ago when I joined my wife's church.
Why did you start playing the bass 21 years ago?
Well, when I first started music, I started playing piano. It was out of frustration because this was in between 11th and 12th grade. And at the time, I got tired of listening to the radio, trying to wait for something that I liked. Because at the time, I was real particular about whatever genre I was listening to. I pick and chose what I would record, what I liked listening to all the time. So at a certain point, it was kind of dry for me. So I got frustrated and said, you know what, I'm going to learn how to play music myself. I'll make my own music. So I signed up for piano in senior year. And I didn't get good at it, but it did teach me a lot about music. It taught me about how scales work and stuff like that. So a few years after, about a couple years after graduation, believe it or not, it's funny, I was on some kind of Jackson kit. And it was in the middle of that, listening to all those bass lines, which Jameson played. I think BASSist did some lines for them and stuff like that. Motown artists, and then whoever they had at CBS Records. You know what? I want to play bass.
Wow,
I want to play bass.
That's good. That's a good reason, man. I can't hear what I want on the radio when I want to hear it, so I'm gonna learn how to play myself. That's a great reason to pick up the bass, man.
Right.
Wow. So who you playing with now?
I play at Greater Emmanuel Missionary Baptist Church.
Where is that located?
That's on West McNichols and Pinehurst.
Pinehurst, West McNichols. So if I want to come and see you, I can come and see you every Sunday.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
I do. It's a whole different thing now.
Right. Yeah. I still would like to come and see you play.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now let me back up. So when you finally started playing that bass guitar 5 years ago, because the other off and on you ain't really do nothing, right?
Right.
But when you started playing 5 years ago, what did you start playing?
At the church, Greater Emmanuel.
Okay, so you do any outside church bass stuff?
No. That's where I started playing professionally, as we say.
Yeah.
Actually, I was volunteering. When I first started there, I volunteered. I just asked, can I play with you guys? Because it was only a drummer and an organist. And I just stepped in and I said, can I play with you guys? They said, you know your notes and stuff like that? I said, yeah. So they gave me music. And by the way, my wife is minister of music over there. So she'd give me the music and I'd go learn it and come to church on Sunday and play it.
That's awesome.
That worked. And after a while of doing this, they wanted to say, we appreciate your service, and they started giving me a little something. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it don't hurt that your wife is the minister of music.
Yeah.
Look, what kind of music y'all play over there at the what kind of music y'all play? Like gospel? Just name some of the hit to gospel songs that you might run through as a bass player. Because I love gospel.
The one I just heard it was Lord Prepare Me. And for a while, that song confounded me so much because it moved around. You see the way it had to go back and forth on the neck and stuff like that. Never Seen the Righteous, Forsaken.
Never Seen the Righteous. Yeah, that's the good one.
That one. All of the contemporary gospel tunes. And we play, our pastor, he likes some contemporary, but he's big into hymns. So,
traditional hymns or
traditional hymns. You know, he just said the other day, he said when those other songs can't get it, he said it's these traditional hymns that get you through.
Yeah, the funny thing about that traditional hymns, my church would throw some songs at me. It's like, go learn this. I'm like, who is it by? We don't know. It's an old traditional. I'm like, so it ain't on YouTube? You know, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to get a hold of them sometimes.
Well, you know, it depends because they'll have some things on YouTube. It might not be the version y'all gonna play. So it's better sometimes if you can read to get out the hymn book.
But see, now here's the thing about, now maybe you can help me on this. The hymn book don't have the music. It only has the bass, tenor, treble, bass, tenor, alto, and soprano for the vocals. They don't have the actual bass lines and stuff to it.
Well, that's what I use. My confusion is on the bass part. The bass part is got 2 lines. Which do I play?
Oh, so y'all actually have a hymn book with the actual
Notes.
music score too?
Yeah, you got the notes for the vocals, and then you got the notes for the organ. You got the notes for the organ or piano.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's like-
Score sheets, then.
Yeah, because
Score sheets.
most of the hymn books I look at, they're like, here's the hymn book here, play the bass line on it. I'm like, this is the bass for the
melody
singer.
line, right?
Yeah, that's the melody. I'm not playing this. I want to sit in the cut like a bass player.
They're built for chorales. They're built for, vocal performance. They break it down in the chords and thing. You just got a line, you got a counter line. That's how when I'm reading out of our book, that's what you got. A melody line on top and a counter line on the bottom. But they don't mention the chords or anything that's in between.
Right. You pretty much have to guess what everything is. You have to, if you can.
But this is vocal music. Yeah, it's not made for,
Yeah, so Lord forgive me for taking those 10 years off from church, those 10 years. Mo, let me ask you a question, man. I met you for the first time today. All right, and I was listening at the name, because usually if I haven't met a person, they come in here in the basement and I hear the name and I recognize them from the name, and I just didn't get Moe Hughes by the name. So how did you hear about what was happening in the basement? Let me know what's going on, bro.
YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah.
So let me rephrase the question. How did you find out about Detroit bass players?
Well, okay, I was reading the Free Press, and they had that. They had an article about that when you guys gathered at Hitsville, USA. So I was like, wow. And so then that led to looking at other things, looking up, going to Detroit bass players website, then going to the YouTube channel and all that type of stuff. And one thing led to another, and now I'm here.
And
I'm in the basement, man. That's great. This is really great. I'm a fan.
This is funny, too.
I'm nervous.
Everybody's nervous in that chair, man. What's funny about this is that he just told us how he found out about the basement. Started with the Detroit bass players, and then the Detroit bass players on Facebook, right?
YouTube.
So you haven't been to the Facebook page?
Later on, I did.
Okay, later on. The funny thing is that he said that he kept running into Brandon on all of this stuff. It was like, why is Brandon always in Detroit?
Yeah. It was like, because I didn't think he was from here. But he is. So.
That's one of our favorite bass players, by the way. But anyway, man, you know what? I'm glad you hanging out with us here in the basement, man, because you know what my goal is. My goal is to interview every single last Detroit bass player. I don't care if you just started playing today or if you've been playing like 40 some years like I have, or even longer. I don't care if you 5 years old or 99 years old. Well, we want to interview you and do something. All I'm trying to do, I'm a bass player, but I have fun filming other bass players and hanging out with other bass players. Kind of hurts me, I guess, when I neglect the other musicians like the guitars, the pianos, the drums, the saxophones. But it's just something about the bass, and I can't interview everybody. I can't even interview every bass player, so I'm going to just stay in my lane. Remember that website, stayinyourlane.com?
But you know what? I don't think a lot of, except for the publications that we might read as bass players, I don't think that we get talked about a lot. And people, well, depending on which genre you talk about, because if you like R&B and blues and stuff like that, bass lines are pretty much out front. They drive the music. Now, rock and roll and such, depending on what era you talk about, you don't get the guitarist gets all the glory and stuff like that. Except for now, I find a lot more bass players in rock and roll. They shred.
Yeah.
You know, they.
Okay, well, man, let me ask you, who are some of your favorite bass players?
Pretty much anybody in R&B, soul, through the 70s and 80s and into the 90s.
Okay, that's a lot of bass players there. Give me, and nobody particular that you like, ooh.
Oh yeah, it's just a lot to name.
Just give me a couple.
James Jamerson, because, you know, growing up listening to Motown, you know, Louis Johnson, Verdine White, the craziest bass player I've ever seen. Let's see, pick somebody else out. You know, Stanley Clarke.
The old standard favorites. Those are like standard favorites.
Jocko, you know,
standard favorites. Yeah, everybody say them. Even me.
As far as the six, the reason I started playing the six was, and I didn't start playing the six until I started playing in church. Up till then, it had been fours and fives. But what got me interested in the six, who got me interested in the six, was John Patitucci. I had old VHS instructional videos of his first one. And
that's Brandon Rose. Okay, go ahead.
He started playing the Bach Prelude in G. And he played it on the upper register of this. And I heard it. And this has a different voice than the guitar, because the strings are thicker, the neck is, the fingerboard is wider and stuff like that. So it has a different kind of voice, a very unique voice. And I heard that and I said, I gotta get one of those. That thing is beautiful. That thing sounds beautiful.
Did you learn the cello suite?
I'm learning it now. There's nothing I would want to play right now. I'm learning it piece by piece. Yeah.
So, okay, so man, well look, I ain't want to keep you, man. You know, I know you got places to go. Look, this dude got places to go. He got to go to out of the country and play somewhere. She got to go. She has to go. He has to go. I know he getting ready to go out of the country somewhere. I'm surprised he stayed with us so long. Thank you, Kern, for hanging out with us in the basement today. Big boy. I know.
I ain't gotta go nowhere.
Reggie ain't gotta go. But the rest,
I get that phone call, then I'm gone.
But you know what? To add to our round table, when I leave here, I'm going home and go to sleep because I got to go to work tonight.
Hey.
yeah. Well, look, like I said, I ain't want to keep you, man. So does anybody else have any questions for this fine bassist? Because I ain't want to keep him. Go ahead, Sage.
What's your favorite song to play on the bass?
That's my favorite song ever, Growing, by John Patitucci. First line.
Yeah.
So if we wanted to keep up with you and all that kind of good stuff, did I ask them that already? No. Okay, so if we wanted to keep up with you and listen to you play and all that kind of stuff, maybe catch that box song, where can we find you at, man?
I got a Facebook page, which is Moe Hughes at Facebook. There's pictures of me doing music stuff on there now. But if you want videos, I can do videos and post them.
Do you have anything that you would like to say in closing before you play us out?
The quote, one of my influences, it's an honor and a gift of God and a privilege to play music. So if you're doing it, because not everybody can do it, have fun and share it with everybody.
Okay, that's cool. All right, so can you play us something out, man? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Moe Hughes.
You know what? All right.
All righty. Thank you.